this is Mahesh Ravi, and in this video, we're going to take a look at how to create this pretty interesting video title reveal. So the workflow is very simple. We're going to create this layer breakdown in Photoshop. We're going to take it to After Effects and finish the animation there. So let's get started with it. We are going to go to Photoshop. We're in Photoshop right now. Let's create a new file and let's choose the HDTV 1080p footage. We have that right here. Let's go to place embedded and bring in an image. I've already downloaded an image of this particular character, and I'm going to place it right here. So you can see that the image is not fitting the composition perfectly, so we can just scale it up. It's okay. So we're going to scale it up and we are going to make it fit into the composition like this. We have it right now. Let's go in and rasterize the layer. We have that right now, and I'm going to just make a rough, very rough selection using the rectangular marquee tool around the character right here. And what we're going to do is we'll go to select and mask. We'll click on select subject, click OK. And click OK to make that selection. Right click on the selection, layer where cut. So we have the character in a separate layer. This is good to go right now. Or since we remove the character from there, we need to actually fill this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to make again rough selection here on the background layer. Right click, content aware fill. We can see a preview of how it actually does the job. It does a pretty good job. Let's apply that and click OK. So we have created the background also here. Let's turn back the character and let's merge all the background layers together. Let's call it background. It's there. Let's name it background and let's call the first layer as a foreground. So we have two layers in here. What we're going to do is we're going to save this as a PSD. Computer, let's save on a computer and just save it as composition to AE. Save it as a Photoshop file. Let's move to After Effects right now. So we're in After Effects. Let's go to our project window. Let's import the PSD file that we just saved from Photoshop. So change it to composition, retain layer sizes and create a composition. Click open. Double click on the composition to open that. So that shows up right here. We have the foreground layer and the background layer separately. So this is good. So what we're going to do is we are going to first start with creating a camera. So let's go to layer, new, and create a camera. We will change this to a one node camera. By default, it will be on two node. You can change it to one node and you can enable depth of field if you require it. So let's enable that. And 50 mm is fine. Click OK. So we have this right now. We have to convert these foreground and background layers into 3D. So let's check these boxes to make sure that the foreground layer and background layer is now sitting in a 3D plane. We will go here to our view and change it to view. So we're going to see our scene from top, and it actually looks like this currently. So what we'll basically do is we'll separate these layers. It is actually sitting on the same plane. So if you select it, you'll see that everything is actually sitting on the same plane, but we don't want that. We'll select the background and we'll move it backwards. So you can see that is happening there. It is going back. So let's move it really back. It's so weird. Maybe put it somewhere here. Now the thing is that since it's very away from the camera, it is actually sort of scaled down. All we have to do is just click on the scale. Press S on your keyboard to bring the scale parameter and increase the scale so that it actually fits your composition window. Once we have this, what we are going to do is, so we have a clear separation between the background and foreground. So we can maybe move the character also slightly to the back and scale it up. If you take your camera, let's open up position. So we can see three parameters, and if you start to move it, you can sort of see that there is this there is a very interesting motion which happens. There is a very slight parallax between the background and the foreground because they are in the separate layer. So let's try and animate this. So we will hit the create keyframe icon, move it to maybe 6 seconds and move your camera like this. So, okay, so now all of these are in separate layers. We can bring back our view. You can add anything in between these layers. So if you want a text to be there, so we have this text, put it right here, drag it between the foreground and the background layer, and it goes in behind the character right now and creates a very, very interesting title sequence effect. So I'm going to place it right here. Maybe what we can do is we can add an opacity as well. But before that, let's create a small shadow here for the text. So what we'll do is we'll create a new solid. Let's fill it with black. And let's put it under the behind layer right now. And we will create a mask. Draw a very rough ellipse right here. So we can also go inside the mask and increase the feather to make the shadow a little more soft. So we have it like that. It looks pretty good. What we'll do is we will take the solid and the text. We will select these two, right click to pre-compose it. It's pre-composed. We can also sort of animate the opacity of it. So let's press T on your keyboard to bring the opacity controller. Click on opacity, make sure that it's 0 when it's starting, and it slowly comes back up again from this. So let's bring it back to 100. And now we have our animation. So that's it. This is a really simple and easy way to create an awesome title graphic or maybe an intro video. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you with another video. Till then, bye.